We got now in the housing market, deals upon deals are falling apart. Contracts that go under, I know I've had contracts on properties, and I had one property I was under contract 4 times. Yeah. Yeah. Advantage.
Merry Christmas, sir.
A new report from realtor.com says this year had the highest rate of home delistings since the site started tracking them back in 2022. People are pulling their homes off the market instead of...
When your house falls apart, when your deal falls 3-4 times, you're going to get discouraged. You're going to say, hey, listen, just like that seller did, I don't want to sell no more. I'm going to rent. Yeah, I'm going to rent. And that becomes an epidemic because the buyer pool, the seller pool is too large. The buyer pool is a whole lot smaller, Now we have what's called a buyer market because the demand for property doesn't outweigh the supply. The supply is higher than the demand. So if the demand is there, but you have an abundant supply, you have a buyer's market. Now, the kicker about a buyer's market, we've been living in a seller's market over the last 10 years, probably going back prior to Trump, coming out of Obama, in the middle of Obama's era, switching over, that we were in a seller's market and we were a buyer's market, then we switched to a seller's market. Okay. In a seller's market, we've seen already frenzy, sellers in control, overpriced homes, 20%, 20,000 over asking price, 15,000 over asking price. In this buyer's market, the buyers make the rules. That's why I tell people the best time in real estate has yet to come upon us. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're going to acquire wealth, you acquire wealth, real estate, when things shitty. You don't acquire it and buy these properties when things look good. So what if you bought it during 2020, you had to compete with 50 other offers? That's your damn problem. You made a stupid mistake, okay? Because you bought against your equity, and as the market adjusts and we have prices lowering, people pulling property off the market, you better believe that affects your equity. Whether you refinanced and pull some money out to go take that trip, or whether you decided, hey, I just want to start a business. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. You're in a buyer's market now. And if your loan balance is higher than the equity in your home, now you're upside down. And that's what's going to happen drastically. And people are going to need to get out of these situations. In comes creative investing and everything that it has to offer. Now I know some of y'all saying, Leon, why are you celebrating? People are going to lose their homes. Why are you celebrating? Property values are going down. Why are you celebrating? Because it's a cycle. It's a cycle, homie. It's a cycle. Okay. That's why I'm celebrating. It's a cycle. Okay. And in that cycle, this is how wealth is transferred. Now, if you're not for transferring the wealth or acquiring in a wealth transfer, then you keep your butt where you are. Me, we capitalists, we like to get the bread. Okay, we like to get the bread. And what we do, we take that bread and say, Lord, what do you want me to do with the bread? Where do you want me to go? Who do you want me to bless? Because at the end of the day, this is why we read the market based on the numbers and not the emotion. Not the emotion. Yeah, you can fix and flip and make a bunch of money in that atmosphere. But now, if you are talking about adding doors to your portfolio, this is the place. This is the place. This is the season we go into. This is, I don't need to get a mortgage. I can take over somebody's note. This is the who's offering owner finance. Raise your hand. You know how many owner finance deal calls I've gotten over the last 30, 60 days? I've probably grown my investor portfolio by Well, portfolio of investors I know that want to buy. Let me make that clear. Over the last couple of months, 60 days specifically, quadruple. Is quadruple a word? Yeah, it is. We've grown it. Because we're getting calls. Hey, we're looking for owner finance deals. Hey, if you have an owner finance deal, let me know. Now, if you're somebody and you want, and you're looking for owner finance deals and you're looking for it in Georgia, Atlanta, leave a comment. Matter of fact, email me. My email's right there in the full description on the YouTube page. Email me, Cool Trader. Email me. Leon, I need to add some doors, creative doors into my portfolio. I will be happy to help you. Let's keep going.
Selling them at too low a price. Joining me now, a luxury real estate guy, Josh Altman, joining us. Location is everything here, of course. Is that what are you seeing a lot of delistings where you are?
Yeah, Stuart, thanks for having me again. So let's talk about those numbers. About 6% of houses are coming off the market every month since June. That is high. So when you look at about every 100 houses that hit the market, that go active, there's about 27 that come off of the market at the same time. I have a couple comments about this article with realtor.com because they're not really zeroing in to what are these homes that are being delisted. And you kind of said it yourself there. Are they going to reduce the price? Overpriced housing.
Keep in mind, real estate is local. Don't pull your hair out and say, oh, the market's crashing. The market is not crashing. The market is not going to crash. We are not going to see a real estate crash anytime soon. Say, Leon, how do you know? Do you have a crystal ball? No, I don't. I do sit on 18 plus years of real estate in the space, but I do understand one key point. We still have investor buyers purchasing, conglomerates purchasing homes at a fast rate. In the city I live in, it's fair to say that a quarter to a third of the homes that came on the market are purchased by institutional buyers. And there's a good amount that aren't on the market that are purchased off market by institutional buyers. How do I know? I've been involved in it, so I know it happens. I've seen large portfolios transfer from one owner to the next, one institution to the next institution, one private mom and pop owner to a conglomerate who probably has 100 doors, 200 doors in the same metropolitan. So real estate is so local, you have to know what's going on in your place. So if you're in Boise, Idaho, and you guys have already decided that your superintendent is an immigrant, we're going to make some changes all across the board. We got rid of the superintendent. We're going to do something on the real estate side. Know that these deals will come up and you will be competing against institutional buyers. They will buy more. Sometimes they buy in Boise. I don't know, but most of the time they buying in Atlanta. Okay. So the deals are here and those deals are going to continue to come. Don't think that we're going to have a crash with that money flying around. That money flying around makes it harder for a crash to take place. A crash takes place when your inventory exceeds the amount of buyers that are able to purchase and the capability of those buyers to buy. But when you have it where you have more than enough buyers and they're very liquid, the liquidity is high. Guess what? You're competing again if you're an investor. Now, again, I'm probably going to put a link out here for my off-market property deals. We do that in the metro Atlanta area and also in Georgia. There are a lot of off-market property deals out there, and you don't even got to work with me. You can find any realtor that has good common sense. I say good common sense, not just a regular realtor. Good common sense. And they're plugged into the investing side. They more than likely have some off-market deals. These are shadow listings. Go get them. Go get them. Go talk to them. I'm not trying to take business for everybody. I'm just trying to big up them.
Congratulations. Well done.
You found a good opportunity to build your portfolio. So remember, real estate is very much local, guys. Don't take some of this with a grain of salt. Know that these numbers, new listing numbers, they have some effect in your area. Not a huge effect, but they do affect larger metropolitans. They do.
Yeah, of course it's not going to sell, and they're going to be taking that off the market. Look, this year alone, I sold about $1.35 billion worth of residential real estate at the Altman Brothers. It's about $4 million.
That boy's a beast. That's luxury real estate for right there. 1.4 billion. Woo! National median list price is $415. If you came to Atlanta, you'll find that we hover around that $450, $465 amount. And the metro areas can be 5 to 10% higher, just depending on where you plug it into.
Dollars a day of real estate. And I can tell you, majority of my day goes towards talking with sellers, trying to get them to reduced prices. Now, the other type of house that has been delisted besides overpriced are ones that need too much work. People don't want to do work because it's too expensive. It doesn't pencil out.
Woo! This is where the deals are made. So this is why you follow me on my Patreon. I talk a lot about this. And this is where the deals are made. This is where the deals are made. When they delist these properties and you're trying to grow your portfolio, even if you think you want to actually get a house, or you can't seem to find a house and you are a owner, I mean, you're a seller, you're a buyer, and you just can't find it on the MLS, and you get that call from your agent and they say, oh yeah, there's nothing for sale, and you're looking, I can't find anything. You want to say, send me the expired listing list. Send me a list of everything that expired. And if you pay your agent, if you give them the right incentive, they'll probably call that list and, hey, they listed it. They don't want to sell anymore. I got a buyer looking in that area. What do you think? So if you're an investor and you're trying to eat, this is the other way you eat. This is the other way. That's why I said going 2026, I am putting all boots on the ground. I am running hard. None of y'all Negroes going to stop me, because that's where the money is. If you're playing in a real estate game, I'm prepared to expand my investor list. I need to know every single one. And if you're trying to sell and you can't sell, you need to be with our flat fee system. If you're trying to sell and you can't sell and you want to take off the market, you need to get a direct offer from someone. Look. I ain't buying in Cali. So don't even tell me. I'm still to Georgia. I'm staying Georgia, boy. But every city, every state has somebody that buys houses. Okay? And that's where you need to go. Get your money right. Don't scream if the offer isn't what you want. Find the right offer that fits what you're looking for. But don't think if you're a seller that all hope is gone. And don't think if you're a buyer that an investor that the market is saturated. You're not going to find yourself a deal. You will find yourself a deal using those creative techniques.
The prices of lumber and steel and everything else, it's just, it doesn't pencil. So the one house that is doing really good right now, Stuart, is that turnkey product where you can move right into it. And now's the time to list that.
Okay. Zillow reports that a lot of home buyers just skip rate shopping. That could cost them a lot of money, I presume. It doesn't seem like a very smart idea. Skip rate shopping. What do you say?
Well, that's kind of like going to the car lot and buying the first car you see and paying full price with the sticker on the window. That's outrageous. And the crazy number is that 7 out of every 10 home buyer do not shop their mortgage. So I used to be a mortgage broker back in the day before the economy collapsed, and just a quarter to 50 basis points could mean the difference of a lot of money. Let's break it down for the public here. On a median price home of about $450,000, the difference between a 6.75% rate and a 6.25% rate is about $147. You start looking at that for a year, that's about $1,800 a year. And I'm not even going to tell you what that amounts to after 30 years because it's a little.
Now, I know why a lot of buyers skip that portion and they go with the first one. They always believe, oh, my credit union is going to give me a better deal. And I'm going to tell you, I'm just to stop this right now. You should be rate shopping. You really right now is more important than any other time. You really, really, really should be rate shopping. And the reality of it is these better rates are out there and people are confused. They think, well, hey, man, if I go rate shopping, they're pulling my credit. Aren't they going to pull it multiple times? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to have all these credit pulls. You have a period of time where you can shop, pull your credit as many times as you need to in order to find what you're looking for. You keep that within that 30, 60-day window and just shop and get the best rate deal. Okay? Shop and get the best rate deal. I'm not going to stay too long on this. Because I know already what's going to hit, the windfall that's going to hit, private money's going to blow up because they'll be needed more in order to buy some of these creative deals. And along with that, people who know how to do creative real estate, people who want to take over, subject twos, things like that, they're going to have the advantage going forward. Okay. And if you say, Leon, man, I am not a real estate agent, but I really want to get into the business, wholesaling is it? You want to become a wholesaler. You don't have to hold. I know guys that that's not what they do all day. That's a part-time hustle. They do it every now. They do probably a deal a month, a deal every 3 months. But that, if you look at it and you're making $10,000 off of a deal you do every 3 months because you get one deal done as a wholesaler, you're working, your dad, you got a family, you got other responsibility, you got a job. But you want to make some extra money. Wholesaling, you make 10K, you make 5K. Some people frown on it. I don't care. I only hear issues concerning it from broke ass people. Okay, I only have issues hear people from that who are the haters. Because four $10,000 deals is $40K. Now, if you're somebody and you only make $90,000 a year, you do the math. You just gave yourself a $40,000 increase, and you ain't even have to run and beg your boss for more money. You ain't got to. And the longer you stay in, the faster you go. You stay focused or just doing that. Yeah.
North of $50,000. You should always put your rate against other mortgage brokers. Let them fight for your business. And look, as a realtor, I always tell people they should meet with multiple people.
Do you see a lot of people like me who just hate the idea of going and applying for a mortgage because it's like jumping through hoops to get all the records that you need? They don't make it easy to get a mortgage, do they? Or get the rate that you're supposed to get.
That's right. Well, they don't make it easy, but if you think about that median income family, if they did negotiate that rate just a little bit, that would have put about 22,000 people, families into houses and had, sold 22,000 more homes this year across the.
Yeah. So they don't make it easy, but it's crazy. They make it easy. Because the last story I talked about was how immigrants can literally buy these houses. Illegal immigrants can do that. So there is some things they make it easy. I know what he's trying to say, but I don't agree. I don't agree. Not in its entirety. Okay. Let's go to the next show. I'm bringing it back to Atlanta. Atlanta. I love this city, even though I'm so hard on Atlanta. I love Georgia, but I'm so hard on Atlanta because Atlanta's not what it should be. It's not what it used to be. And we already see the drastic changes that are taking place on the landscape. There was a point in time when Atlanta was the Black Hollywood. And I believe people ran out and they wanted to get involved in this Hollywood gold rush, Hollywood's expansion. There's something about when you just leave it in people's hands to make you rich. Hollywood is so freaking flaky, and we've known they've been flaky for a long time, but yet we changed whole landscapes in order to accommodate them. And what do they say? We're going to the UK. We don't want to be here no more. They charge us less.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's what's happening. Hollywood's fleeing to the UK in massive droves. I told you, the industry is a broke industry. And you guys keep thinking, don't let your kids go be no damn Hollywood actor. They better off being a doggone content creator and you writing scripts for them to perform and let them do it as much as they want to. And you use YouTube and you put their content all out there. Them jokers going to be chasing you down. And if not, you're going to make a bunch of money with the assets. And look, I gave you that for free.
Congratulations. Well done.
I ain't even charge you for that. That's for free. That's just for being on the video. Because Hollywood does not care. They don't care about the government. You're talking about a bunch of people who are about getting the bread. How do I know they're about getting the bread? Because even the residuals that come from movies don't even flow to the people that work on the lots for these movies. They're written into the contracts to get the money. But do they get the money? No. That's why the A-list actors Brad Pitts and the Tom Cruises, and they get a big lump sum. And then they get rights to, residuals, and sometimes they never see it. But that's why they give them a bunch of money, at the front, because they want them. Now, the executives, the producers, the directors, the writers, not even the writers don't even touch it as much. They get the money. They get the residual on the bread. Don't get that twisted. Oh, yeah. They get that bread. So you got to wonder, why the hell are they going to the UK if they making all the bread already? Yeah, because you guys like to picket and to protest on these Hollywood studios. This is the reason why they go into the UK, and it's going to continue to happen. But what happens when that takes place, it leaves a shell in the freaking economy. And this is what we're experiencing right now in certain parts of Georgia.